Bananas might be the world's most recognizable fruit, but few people realize just how complicated it can be to grow them successfully. It's easy to stroll into a grocery store and toss a bunch into your cart without a second thought. But behind that ordinary purchase lies a sprawling network of farms, specialized techniques, and family secrets. Many aspiring growers, whether backyard hobbyists or budding entrepreneurs, struggle to produce high yields and top-quality fruit. If you're one of them, or simply curious about how the banana industry keeps us well-stocked, stick around. We're diving into the pro-level strategies that can turn an average patch of soil into a thriving banana plantation. Growing bananas isn't just about planting a sapling and hoping for the best. From selecting the right variety to timing the harvest just so, every detail matters. And here's a little-known fact: bananas aren't really trees. They're giant herbs, and their main trunk is actually a pseudostem made from overlapping leaf sheaths. This botanical quirk changes the game when it comes to pruning, feeding, and pest control. So get ready to explore the ups and downs of banana cultivation and uncover the secrets that can boost both yield and quality far beyond what most people think is possible. Believe it or not, bananas weren't always the same variety you see in stores today. Up until the mid-20th century, the world's dominant export banana was the Gros Michel, praised for its sweet flavor and robust shelf life. But when a strain of Panama disease ravaged plantations, farmers were forced to switch to a more resistant variety, the Cavendish. This swift transition is a textbook case of how a single disease can change an entire global market overnight. The switch to Cavendish solved one problem but introduced others. On the bright side, Cavendish bananas are easier to ship and still taste pretty great. On the downside, they're more sensitive to certain pests and diseases, and some argue they lack the rich flavor of their predecessor. The industry invests heavily in research to make the Cavendish more resilient, with many watchers fearing history could repeat itself if a new pathogen emerges. That's why understanding modern cultivation is so vital. You never know when you might face a crisis that demands adaptability. From these historic challenges, farmers learned a crucial lesson. You can't rely on luck. Careful planning, strategic variety selection, and thorough maintenance can mean the difference between success and a wiped-out crop. This mindset laid the foundation for today's advanced growing techniques. After all, bananas remain one of the most traded fruits globally, making them big business and a pillar of food security in many regions. Bananas thrive in warm, humid climates, typically between 75 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 to 35 degrees Celsius. Too cold, and they'll struggle to form healthy fruit. Too hot, and they might become more susceptible to leaf scorch or certain pests. One secret many pro-growers know is the importance of creating a microclimate. Even in areas slightly outside the usual banana belt, thoughtful strategies like windbreaks or strategically placed shade cloths can help maintain stable conditions. Equally important is the soil. Bananas crave fertile, well-drained earth that retains moisture without becoming waterlogged. The ideal pH sits around 5.5 to 7.0. For maximum productivity, farmers often amend the soil with organic matter like compost or manure, ensuring the heavy feeders get a steady supply of nutrients over time. Another trick is to lay down a layer of mulch around the base to lock in moisture and regulate temperature. Then there's the question of location. Bananas grow best in spots that get at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. But they also appreciate a bit of wind protection, since their large leaves can tear easily in storms. If you're planting in a region prone to high winds, consider placing your banana stand near a building or taller vegetation that can serve as a buffer. By balancing all these factors, temperature, sun exposure, soil quality, and humidity, you're setting your banana plants up for long-term success. And as you'll see next, a strategic approach to planting seals the deal. Unlike many fruit-bearing trees that start from seeds, bananas typically propagate through suckers, also called pups. These sprout at the base of a mature plant and can be carefully separated to form new plants. Suckers come in two main types: sword suckers and water suckers. Sword suckers have narrow leaves and a robust root system, making them a stronger choice for new plantings. Water suckers have broader leaves and a weaker root system. They can still grow bananas, but often yield less. Many pro farmers opt for tissue-cultured plants supplied by specialized labs, ensuring disease-free stock and uniform growth. When you plant your suckers or tissue-cultured plantlets, spacing is crucial. Too close and they'll compete for nutrients and sunlight, resulting in smaller fruit. Too far apart and you might be wasting valuable land area. For home growers, a spacing of 8 to 10 feet, around 2.5 to 3 meters, between plants is typical, though commercial farms might tweak this to maximize yields. Dig your hole deep enough so the base of the corm, the banana's root-like structure, sits just below soil level. Right after planting, consider giving each new plant a gentle watering and a top dressing of compost. This extra care helps the plant establish quicker, ensuring it develops strong roots before it starts shooting up that iconic pseudostem. Gardeners sometimes forget that bananas, despite looking tall and sturdy, are relatively delicate during those early weeks. A bit of attention at this stage can set the tone for the plant's entire life cycle. Once your bananas are comfortably in the ground, the real work begins. Bananas demand consistent moisture, so thorough watering is essential, especially in hotter climates. Overwatering can cause root rot, so aim for a balance. Keep the soil moist but not drenched. In many areas, an irrigation system with drip lines or micro sprinklers is a lifesaver, providing the regular hydration bananas crave without drowning them. Fertilization is another must. These plants are heavy feeders, so you'll want to give them a nitrogen-rich blend to support rapid leaf and stem growth. Organic growers often rely on well-rotted manure or compost, applied once every few months. Conventional growers might use a balanced NPK fertilizer in controlled release form. If you notice yellowing leaves or poor growth, it could be a sign you need to adjust your feeding schedule or nutrient mix. Pest and disease prevention can't be overlooked. Scale insects, weevils, and nematodes are common foes. Simple methods like keeping the area around your banana stand clean and free of decaying matter can discourage these pests. For diseases, the best strategy is often vigilance. Catch problems early and remove infected materials to stop them from spreading. Some farmers swear by regular applications of compost tea or certain beneficial microbes to boost plant immunity. While these methods might seem extra, they're the kind of details that separate lackluster harvests from bumper crops. If pests are the everyday nuisances of banana farming, then diseases are the existential threats. Panama disease, caused by a fungus that attacks the plant's vascular system, gained infamy for wiping out the Gros Michel banana. Today's Cavendish is also under threat from new variants of this fungus, which has driven massive research efforts to develop resistant lines. Black sigatoka, another fungal disease, is notorious for stunting leaf growth and reducing yields by up to 50% if left unchecked. Some commercial growers rely heavily on fungicides to keep these diseases at bay, sparking controversy about environmental impacts and the long-term viability of chemical-based solutions. Others explore more sustainable approaches, such as disease-resistant strains or agroecological practices that maintain a balanced ecosystem. Whichever path you choose, the key is vigilance. The moment you spot discolored leaves, wilting, or unusual spots, act fast. Quick intervention, pruning affected leaves, or using appropriate treatments can mean the difference between a single infected plant and an epidemic. These large-scale threats highlight why banana farming is more than just planting and waiting. Serious growers know their success hinges on anticipating problems before they spiral out of control. Once your plants have survived these hurdles, though, it's time for the step that makes it all worthwhile: the harvest. Even when your banana bunch looks plump, you need to pick just the right moment for harvesting. Commercial plantations often harvest bananas while they're still green to ensure they can handle long-distance shipping. For backyard growers or smaller-scale farmers selling locally, letting bananas partially ripen on the plant can boost sweetness and flavor. Here's a sign the pros look for: watch the fingers. If the edges of each banana start to lose their angular shape and become more rounded, you're getting close to harvest time. Size matters too. Some varieties form large, elongated fruits, while others are short and stocky. Knowing your variety's typical size will help you gauge maturity. The actual cutting process requires care. If you can, support the stem with one hand while slicing the stalk above the bunch so the cluster doesn't crash to the ground. Commercial growers use specialized hooks and even harness systems to protect both the fruit and the workers. Once the bunch is cut, remove the flower end, sometimes called the banana blossom, to encourage the plant to focus on ripening the existing fruit. At home, you can simply place the harvested bananas somewhere shady and cool, ensuring they don't get bruised while they finish ripening. The journey doesn't end once bananas leave the farm. Commercial operations often use ripening rooms, sealed environments where temperature and humidity are meticulously controlled. Ethylene gas, naturally produced by fruits like apples, is introduced to trigger uniform ripening. This technique allows large shipments of bananas to arrive at stores in pristine condition, peaking in flavor just when consumers reach for them. It's a highly choreographed process. Too much ethylene too soon, and bananas can become overripe before they hit the shelves. Too little, and they remain a tough green mass that buyers avoid. This balancing act is a guarded secret in the banana trade, ensuring that each major distributor has its own protocols for timing and gas concentration. Critics sometimes accuse the industry of artificially manipulating fruit to look perfect, but proponents argue it drastically reduces food waste by making bananas last longer on the shelf. Then come rumors about certain chemical dips or wax coatings that protect bananas from bruising or pests during transport. Large exporters are typically tight-lipped about the specifics, maintaining that all treatments comply with regulations. Still, some consumers remain suspicious. Either way, it's a reminder that behind every seemingly simple banana is an intricate system of storage, shipping, and marketing designed to get that fruit from the tropics to your local grocery store without missing a beat. Any large agricultural industry has its share of controversies, and bananas are no exception. One ongoing concern is the emergence of tropical race 4 of Panama disease, which threatens even the Cavendish. Scientists worldwide are hustling to breed or genetically engineer bananas that can withstand this new strain. This has led to heated debates over genetically modified GM bananas, with opponents worried about ecological impacts and proponents arguing it might be the only way to save the banana industry. Corporate influence is another hot topic. Historically, banana republics referred to countries dominated by large fruit companies that wielded enormous political power. While times have changed, some critics allege that big corporations still control prices, land use, and labor conditions in many banana-producing nations. On the flip side, there's a growing push for fair trade and organic bananas, with smallholder farmers banding together to claim a more equitable share of the market. For backyard growers and small-scale farmers, these global battles might seem distant, but diseases and economic pressures can trickle down, affecting which varieties you can find and how well they grow. The good news is that there's a new wave of interest in diverse banana types, from hardy cooking bananas to dwarf dessert varieties, giving local growers fresh options. Whether you're into organic farming or conventional methods, you have more tools and resources than ever to ensure your banana crop thrives. Growing bananas involves a surprising mix of art, science, and a dash of detective work. You start by choosing the right variety, prepping nutrient-rich soil, and nurturing that delicate sucker or tissue-cultured plant through its vulnerable early stages. From there, you monitor every leaf and spot, staying alert for pests and diseases that could turn a vibrant stand of bananas into a wilted mess. If you're diligent, you'll be rewarded with bountiful bunches that can feed your family, support a side business, or even launch a full-blown commercial enterprise. Yet, this fruit's journey doesn't conclude in your backyard. The global banana industry is a microcosm of modern agriculture, full of triumphs, setbacks, and heated debates about sustainability and corporate power. Underneath those bright yellow peels, bananas carry traces of everything from historical fungus battles to advanced ripening technology that helps them appear just right on store shelves. For home gardeners, the payoff is the satisfaction of eating a banana you've nurtured from root to fruit. For professional growers, it's about staying ahead of threats while capitalizing on evolving market trends. So, where do you fit into all this? If you're drawn to the idea of growing bananas like a pro, remember that success hinges on learning and adapting. Stay curious, experiment with different methods, and don't be afraid to push boundaries. Maybe you'll opt for the more traditional approach, relying on age-old organic tricks, or perhaps you'll keep up with the latest research on disease-resistant strains and cutting-edge fertilizer formulas. Either way, the secrets to boosting yield and quality lie within careful planning, consistent care, and a willingness to embrace new ideas. As banana enthusiasts and industry watchers will tell you, once you see how these plants transform sunshine, water, and nutrients into a sweet, nourishing treat, you'll never look at a banana the same way again. That's the magic hidden in those large, lush leaves, a quiet miracle unfolding in slow motion, culminating in a harvest that's both practical and profoundly rewarding. And that, in a nutshell, is the real secret behind turning a humble banana patch into a thriving, fruitful enterprise.